only on 6. We now know where the first mass vaccination site will be right here in New Orleans. And get this, many of you could soon get a vaccine as soon as next week.
Yeah, it's a partnership with the city, LCMC Health, and the Montreal Convention Center. And only on 6, we are joined by LCMC Health's CEO, Greg Fern, with more on these new developments. And Mr. Fern, first of all, thank you for joining us. You're calling this Operation Be in That Number, set to happen at the Convention Center. But you're waiting on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Explain why that is.
Well, currently, first let me say we are excited to announce Operation Be in That Number, the first FEMA-funded mass vaccination site in the state. And we are waiting for the J&J vaccine. Really, that's because all of our delivery channels are at capacity today with the vaccines that we have. And we don't want to lessen the amount of vaccines in those places only to move those to the convention center. We may start to do that slowly, but at the end of the day, we need more vaccines, and we are up and ready to provide vaccinations as soon as we can get them. We've been planning for this for a long, long time, and this mass vaccination site will be a great service to the community.
And that Johnson & Johnson vaccine could get the green light as early as the end of this week. So if that happens, you guys chose the Montreal Convention Center. Why is that?
Due to its size, its convenient location, its access to things like RTA, ease of parking in where we have it located, we've really designed this to be able to vaccinate thousands of people per day with very limited wait times and a very efficient process.
And talk about how that process is going to work. Are people going to have to make an appointment with you all to show up? And how are you going to work with those eligibility requirements?
So we have software set up on our side where people can work through a link online through our website to ultimately get their appointment. It'll be very seamless, an operation that we're proud of. We also will have an RN nurse hotline for those individuals who might not find it that easy to use the website. Also centralized scheduling, just a number of different avenues to help individuals, especially those more vulnerable individuals that may find it difficult to access this site, but we've got every avenue in place to make sure that we make it easy for all members of our community.
And what is your message for the community this morning, again, with these vaccination efforts really ramping up? And of course, this certainly exciting news that we are going to get this big mass vaccination site right here in New Orleans.
Our biggest message is we are ready. We want everyone to be in that number. It'll help our community get back to normal, back to things like Jazz Fest and Mardi Gras next year. And that's the biggest message. Let's work together. Let's be in that number. LCMC Health and our partners at the city of New Orleans, the state of Louisiana, FEMA, and the New Orleans Montreal Convention Center. We are here for the community, and we're ready.
All right, Mr. Greg Fern there with LCMC Health. Thank you so much for joining us via Zoom and again sharing that exciting news with our viewers this morning.
Shalom. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to you, brothers, hopefully elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. As you can see in the opening video, they're opening a mass jabbing site here in New Orleans. Okay. And I just want to kind of go into they pushing their jab hard as they can. Opened up mass sites, and they said that it's funded by FEMA. Okay. So I mean, we should know that these are red flags, okay, when it comes to especially this jab. So I just think about that word cut. We're gonna go into the scriptures with it too. But look up the definition of cut. This is from the freedictionary.com. I'm going to read a couple definitions off. And it says, one says to penetrate with a sharp edge, strike a narrow opening in. Okay? Sound like you're getting jabbed up. Okay? To separate into parts, to sever the edges, to mow, reap, or harvest, to to fail by sawing, or to hew, to have a new tooth grow through the gums, like cutting your gums. That's a terminology that they use for, when your teeth coming in for children, or babies and children, to separate from a main body, to form by penetrating, to exhibit the appearance or give the impression, to pass through in a card game, to divide a deck of cards into two parts, to reduce the size, to remove or delete, to lessen the strength of, to dilute, to dissolve by breaking down, to injure the feelings of or hurt keenly, to refuse to speak, to fail to attend purposely, you cut class, okay? Let's see, check out verse 21, number 28 here. It says to injure oneself by penetrating the skin with a sharp object. See that? So you're injuring yourself by penetrating your skin with a sharp object by getting that jab. You're cutting into your flesh. Okay? So, this is Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. It says, they shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. And we just read the definition of cutting here in number 28 says to injure oneself by penetrating with a sharp object. You see that? So it's talking about making a cutting or penetrating your flesh with a sharp object. That's not something that you should do. Now, I've heard the argument where they say, well, the things here are talking about the priests. This is not something that the priest should do. Okay. Let me see. But yeah, this was something that they say the priests would do. But aren't we striving to be priests? Aren't we a kingdom of priests? Are we not? This is Exodus chapter 19, verse 5. It says, now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, that ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So that's talking about everyone. Okay? So we shall be unto him a kingdom of priests. Alright? That's what we're striving to be. Right now we're training. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 4. It says, John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you, and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne. and from Yahushua Mashiach, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. Verse 6, and hath made us kings and priests unto the Most High, and unto God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. You see that? He made us kings and priests. You see that? See, you're not convinced? In Revelation chapter 5, verse 8. It says, and when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. You see that? So that applies to us. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their forehead or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Okay. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests. See that? There goes again, of the Most High and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. See that? We'll be nation of kings and priests. So you can't say that law only applies to the priests, because that's for us. That's what we're striving for. This is Revelation chapter 16. Salakia chapter 13. Revelation 13 starting at 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And what is that mark? This is Strong's G5480, which is charagma or hadagma, which says a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or on the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses. Verse 1 Salakia 1:2 says a thing carved or sculptured, graven work of idolatrous images. So it's a cut. It's a carve. And matter of fact, right here it says from the same. A scratch or etching, that is a stamp, a badge, or sculptured, a graven mark. So you have to cut into, okay? Look at that word, etching. A print produced by process of etching, the art process. Let's see. To etch, to engrave, by coating with a protective layer, drawing on it a needle, and then covering it with acid. There's no. Here it is. Number 3. This is etching. To cut or carve a text or design on a surface, a mark. You see, I mean, you can't get around it. That mark there is to be cut. Is to cut into something. And to cut into something, like it says here, number 28, to injure oneself by penetrating the skin with a sharp object. You have to penetrate your skin in order to get that mark. You have to penetrate your skin in order to get jabbed up. Okay? And as we know and just read back in Leviticus, the 21st chapter. It says, they shall not make baldness, verse 5, they shall not make baldness upon their hair, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. That's unlawful. We're not supposed to be doing that. Okay? And they're really pushing to try to get everyone jabbed up. So they're pushing you to go against Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You see that? They're pushing you to say, don't trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, but trust in us. We have the solution. You know, if you get jabbed up, we can go back to normal. That's the best way to get to normalcy, which it is really not. They speak with a forked tongue. They tell you this and they tell you that, then they come back and change it. You understand who you're dealing with. Okay? All right, so they rolling out these what they call mass Maxination sites, and they got down here in New Orleans. They just look for it, and especially in these major areas, they coming for it. So call all y'all Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakodash. Hope you edified on that. Shalom. On to the next one.